The sterile hospital room was filled with the soft cries of a newborn, a stark contrast to the tension that hung in the air. I clutched the swaddled bundle in my arms, exhausted but elated, only to be blindsided by the words that Derek uttered with a casualness that cut through the joy like a knife. "I think it's time we talk," Derek said, his eyes avoiding mine as he fidgeted with the hem of his jacket. I glanced at him, my tired eyes seeking reassurance in his familiar face. But there was something different. Something distant. The anticipation knotted my stomach, and a chill seeped into the warmth of the room. "Talk about what, Derek?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The words felt heavy, as if the universe conspired to steal the joy of our child's birth. He took a deep breath, as if summoning the courage to say the unspeakable. "Riley and I have been seeing each other for a while now, and I've made a decision." My heart skipped a beat, and I stared at him, waiting for the punchline to a cruel joke. But the gravity in his expression told me this was no jest. "I want to marry Riley. We'll raise this child together." He dropped the bomb, and the world around me blurred into a surreal nightmare. The baby's cries seemed to amplify, matching the cacophony in my mind. "Marry Riley?" I managed to choke out, my grip on our child tightening. Derek nodded, the weight of his words settling in the room like an uninvited guest. "I've thought long and hard about this. It's what I want." The silence that followed was broken only by the rhythm of the baby's cries. My throat felt dry, and I struggled to find words that could capture the betrayal. You're joking, right?" I stammered, desperately searching his eyes for a sign that this was some twisted jest. "I wish I were," he replied, finally meeting my gaze. The distance in his eyes shattered the last remnants of denial, leaving behind a profound ache. The room felt colder, the happiness I had clung to slipping through my fingers. In the space where love once thrived, an unexpected betrayal loomed, casting a shadow over the fragile joy of our child's birth. The hospital room, once a sanctuary of potential and love, now echoed with the weight of Derek's declaration. He stood there, as if he had dropped a truth bomb and was waiting for the fallout. I clutched our newborn tighter, a feeble attempt to shield her from the impending storm. "Raise our child with Riley," I repeated, the words tasting bitter on my tongue. I could feel the eyes of our daughter on us, oblivious to the turmoil unfolding in her tiny world. Derek nodded, his expression oddly calm, considering the emotional tempest he had just unleashed. "Mia and I have been planning this for a while. It's the right thing to do." "The right thing?" I scoffed, my exhaustion giving way to disbelief. "This is the right thing to do after I've just given birth to our child? Derek, what about us?" His eyes flickered with a mix of determination and guilt. "Us, Meline, we've been struggling for a while. This," he gestured towards our daughter, "doesn't change that." I felt a surge of anger, mingled with the exhaustion of childbirth. "So, what? You're just going to walk out on us? On your family?" "It's not about walking out, it's about being honest with ourselves," he replied, his tone oddly rational, as if he had rehearsed this speech. "Honest? Derek, we just had a child together. How can you be so cold?" I shot back, the weight of betrayal turning my words into shards. He sighed, as if trying to find the right words. "Meline, please try to understand. This is for the best, for everyone involved." The absurdity of his words struck me. For the best? How is tearing our family apart for the best? What about our child? Don't you think she deserves better than this? Derek avoided my gaze, his resolve crumbling under the weight of the truth. I thought about it. Riley and I will provide a stable environment. She deserves that. I shook my head, unable to fathom the logic. A stable environment? By breaking up her family the moment she's born? "Derek, you're not making any sense." The room seemed to constrict around us, the gravity of his decision pulling me into an abyss of disbelief. Our daughter's cries mingled with the silence that followed, punctuating the reality of Derek's shocking announcement, a declaration that shattered the very foundation of the life we had built together. In the days that followed Derek's shocking announcement, the truth unraveled with a relentless force, like a thread pulled from a carefully woven tapestry. The hospital room, once filled with the promise of new beginnings, transformed into a battleground of revelations. "You knew, didn't you?" I confronted Derek, my voice a mixture of anger and despair. The weight of betrayal had settled, and now I sought answers. Derek avoided my eyes, a telltale sign of guilt. "Meline, it's not that simple. I never meant to hurt you." The room felt stifling, the air thick with the tension of unspoken truths. You never meant to hurt me. You were cheating on me while I carried our child. How can you say that? I demanded, my voice rising with every word. His shoulders slumped, a silent acknowledgement of his guilt. I didn't plan for things to turn out this way. It just happened. Happened. I scoffed, the bitterness of reality settling in. Infidelity doesn't just happen, Derek. It's a choice, and you chose to betray our family. He sighed, a feeble attempt to convey remorse. Meline, please. I never meant for it to get this far. Riley and I were just what? Friends? I interrupted, my frustration boiling over. Don't insult my intelligence, Derek. I've seen the pictures, the evidence. This was more than just friendship. His gaze dropped to the floor, unable to meet my accusing eyes. I never wanted you to find out like this. I thought we could figure things out, that you wouldn't have to know. The absurdity of his words infuriated me. Figure things out by keeping me in the dark while you played house with Riley? Do you have any idea how much you've shattered my trust? Derek winced, a palpable acknowledgement of the damage he had wrought. I messed up, Meline. I never wanted it to come to this. As the truth hung in the air, I struggled to comprehend the magnitude of the betrayal. Do you love her? I asked, almost afraid of the answer. His silence spoke volumes, confirming the depth of his infidelity. It's not about love. It's about, I don't know, something different. Something different. I repeated, incredulous. Derek, you're leaving your family for something different. What does that even mean? He shook his head, unable to articulate a coherent response. I can't explain it. Riley and I just connected in a way I never did with anyone else. The room echoed with the gravity of his admission. The revelation of infidelity was a wound that cut deep, leaving me to grapple with the shattered fragments of a marriage that had crumbled under the weight of betrayal. The revelation of Derek's infidelity left me grappling with the shattered remnants of trust. Unable to rely on his honesty, I sought the only means left to me, truth through investigation. I enlisted the help of a detective agency, the decision an act of desperation fueled by a need for clarity. In a dimly lit office, Detective Harris laid out the findings, each photograph a painful testament to Derek's betrayal. I'm sorry, Mrs. Johnson. We found evidence of Mr. Johnson's involvement with another woman during the period you mentioned, Detective Harris explained, his tone carrying a mixture of sympathy and professional detachment. The images spread across the table, a visual narrative of Derek's deceit. In each frame, he and Riley shared stolen moments, oblivious to the wreckage they were creating. I gritted my teeth, the pain of confirmation cutting through me like a knife. How long has this been going on? Detective Harris glanced at the documents. It appears to have started several months ago, around the time of your pregnancy. Months of lies and betrayal, all concealed behind Derek's facade of normalcy. What was he thinking? The detective hesitated before responding, choosing his words carefully. People make choices for various reasons, Mrs. Johnson. It's not always easy to understand. As I sifted through the damning evidence, I couldn't help but wonder how I had been oblivious to the unraveling of my own life. Did he ever mention Riley to you? Detective Harris shook his head. No, he was careful not to bring her into any official conversations. We had to dig deep to uncover this. I sighed, the weight of the truth settling in my chest. Thank you, Detective. I appreciate your help. As I left the detective agency, the cold reality of my situation enveloped me. The involvement of a detective had peeled away the layers of deception, leaving me to confront the stark truth. The photographs, a painful testament to Derek's infidelity, became the catalyst for the decisions that loomed ahead. Armed with the damning evidence from the detective agency, I confronted Derek in the once hallowed space of our home. The air crackled with tension as I laid out the incriminating photographs on the kitchen table, each image a painful reminder of his betrayal. What is this, Derek? I demanded, my voice edged with a mix of anger and hurt. He glanced at the photographs, a flicker of guilt crossing his face before he quickly composed himself. Meline, I can explain. Explain? I scoffed, bitterness lacing my words. What explanation could possibly justify this betrayal? Were you planning to tell me, or did you think I'd never find out? He sighed, a feeble attempt to diffuse the tension. I never wanted you to find out like this, Meline. It's complicated. Complicated? I echoed, incredulous. You've been cheating on me while I carried our child, and you call it complicated. Derek's eyes avoided mine, his guilt laid bare in the subtle shifts of his expression. I messed up, Meline, but it's not as black and white as it seems. I slammed my hand on the table, the photographs scattering in the wake of my fury. Not black and white? Derek, this is our family, our daughter. How could you do this to us? He looked down, unable to meet my gaze. I never meant for it to get this far. Riley and I were just what? Friends? I interrupted, the frustration boiling over. I've seen the evidence, Derek. This was more than friendship. He ran a hand through his hair, a sign of agitation. It's complicated, Meline. Riley and I. Save it, Derek, I snapped, my patience waning. I'm not interested in your justifications. The evidence speaks for itself. We're done. A heavy silence settled in the room, broken only by the distant hum of traffic outside. The weight of my decision hung in the air, and for a moment, Derek seemed to grasp the magnitude of the consequences. You can't just decide that, Meline. We have a child together, he pleaded, desperation tainting his voice. Our child deserves better than a father who betrays his family, I retorted, my resolve unwavering. I'm filing for divorce. As the words hung in the air, a chasm opened between us, separating what was left of our shattered marriage. The confrontation marked a turning point, a painful acknowledgement that the path forward would be one of healing and rebuilding, a path I would walk alone, determined to provide a stable environment for our daughter, free from the shadows of Derek's betrayal. The aftermath of our confrontation unfolded beyond the confines of our home. The news of Derek's infidelity reached the ears of the company president, a man I had only seen in passing during corporate events. His unexpected intervention added a new layer of complexity to an already tumultuous situation. One evening, the president's stern voice echoed through my phone, a tone that conveyed both authority and disapproval. Mrs. Johnson, this is President Anderson. I've heard about the recent events involving your husband, and I believe it's affecting not only your personal life, but potentially his professional conduct as well. I swallowed hard, unprepared for the intrusion of my personal turmoil into the professional realm. President Anderson, I appreciate your concern, but I'm handling the situation. He paused, his response measured. While I sympathize with your personal challenges, I cannot ignore the potential impact on the company. It has come to my attention that Mr. Johnson's behavior may compromise the workplace environment. The gravity of his words sank in, and I found myself grappling with the consequences of Derek's actions beyond our fractured marriage. I've decided to take measures to address this matter within the company. President Anderson continued, his tone leaving little room for argument. Mr. Johnson will be transferred to a branch office in a rural location. This should help him reassess his priorities. The announcement struck me as both unexpected and necessary. President Anderson, I appreciate your involvement, but I hope you understand that my primary concern is providing a stable environment for our daughter. He acknowledged my concern with a curt nod, albeit over the phone. I understand, Mrs. Johnson. I believe this measure will be in everyone's best interest. You have my assurance that child support arrangements will be enforced. The conversation ended, leaving me to grapple with the implications of the company's intervention. The decision to transfer Derek, while a professional solution, had far-reaching consequences for our personal lives. When Derek received the news, his reaction was a mix of frustration and realization. Meline, I didn't expect the company to get involved like this. It's just a transfer. I can still be there for you and our daughter. I met his gaze with a firm resolve. Derek, this is a consequence of your actions. The company is taking steps to ensure a professional environment, and I won't stand in the way of that. Our focus should be on what's best for our daughter. As the company intervened, the trajectory of our lives shifted once again, setting in motion a series of events that would shape our futures in unexpected ways. With the company intervention settling into the background, I found myself standing at the crossroads of personal upheaval and professional resurgence. The fragments of my shattered marriage served as a stark backdrop to the decision I faced, resuming a career that had been momentarily eclipsed by the chaos of betrayal. As I re-entered the workforce, the familiar hum of a corporate environment greeted me like an old friend, offering a semblance of normalcy amidst the storm. The office became a sanctuary, a place where I could reclaim a sense of identity beyond the roles of wife and mother. Rose, a colleague and friend who had stood by me through the tumultuous events, greeted me with a warm smile as I stepped through the office doors. Meline, it's good to have you back. How are you holding up? I returned her smile, grateful for the genuine concern. It's a process, Rose. Taking it one step at a time. Her eyes flickered with understanding. Well, if there's anything you need, or if you just want to talk, I'm here for you. The camaraderie offered a sense of comfort, a reminder that amidst the personal chaos, the professional sphere could offer stability. As I delved into my tasks, President Anderson approached me, his demeanor a blend of professionalism and empathy. "Mrs. Johnson, welcome back. I've heard about the challenges you're facing, and I want to assure you that the company is here to support you." I nodded appreciatively, acknowledging the unexpected ally in the corporate arena. "Thank you, President Anderson. I'm here to focus on my work and provide the best for my daughter." He nodded in return, a silent acknowledgement of the unspoken complexities that lingered in the air. "Take the time you need, Mrs. Johnson. We understand that personal matters can impact professional life. Your dedication is valued." As the days turned into weeks, I found solace in the routine of work, the demands of a career offering a distraction from the echoes of betrayal. The office became a sanctuary where competence and dedication were recognized, providing a counterbalance to the personal turmoil that continued to unfold outside its confines. Rose, sensing the delicate balance, pulled me aside during a coffee break. "Malene, how are you really holding up? I know work can be a refuge, but don't forget to take care of yourself." I offered her a grateful smile, touched by her genuine concern. "I appreciate that, Rose. One step at a time, right?" Her eyes met mine with a shared understanding. "Absolutely, and remember, you're not alone in this journey." As I resumed my career, the chapters of my life unfolded with an unpredictable rhythm. The professional sphere, once overshadowed by personal turmoil, became a canvas on which I could redefine myself, an unexpected silver lining in the aftermath of a shattered marriage. In the wake of the storm that had ravaged my personal life, the silver lining appeared in the form of a steadfast friendship with Rose. As the days unfolded, our connection deepened, and the office camaraderie transformed into a genuine bond that served as a pillar of support. One afternoon, Rose invited me for a coffee break, a routine that had evolved into a comforting ritual. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee enveloped us as we settled into a quiet corner of the office cafeteria. "How are you holding up, Malene?" Rose asked, her eyes reflecting a genuine concern. I sighed, appreciating the sincerity in her question. "Some days are better than others, Rose, but having you as a friend makes a world of difference." She smiled, the warmth of understanding passing between us. "I'm here for you, Malene, through thick and thin. It's not easy navigating through all this, but you're doing great." Her words, simple yet profound, offered a lifeline in the midst of chaos. "Thank you, Rose. Your friendship means more to me than I can express." As the weeks unfolded, our friendship extended beyond the confines of office hours. Rose became a confidant, a person with whom I could share the intimate struggles of rebuilding a life shattered by betrayal. One evening, over dinner at a quaint cafe, I opened up about the challenges I faced. "Rose, some days it feels like I'm trying to piece together a puzzle that's missing crucial pieces, and every attempt to move forward is a reminder of what I've lost." She listened attentively, her empathy a balm to the wounds of my vulnerability. "Malene, healing takes time, and it's okay to feel lost. But remember, you're not alone in this journey. We'll find those missing pieces together." Her unwavering support fueled a newfound strength within me. "You're right, Rose. I need to focus on the present and the future, not the fragments of the past." Our friendship became a source of inspiration, a testament to the resilience that could emerge from the wreckage of betrayal. As we navigated the complexities of life, Rose's steadfast presence provided a beacon of light, illuminating the path towards a future shaped by newfound strength and enduring friendship. In the office, our connection transcended the professional, creating a shared space where laughter and shared challenges coexisted. One day, as we worked side by side on a project, Rose turned to me with a mischievous grin. "Malene, let's make a pact. No matter what life throws at us, we'll face it together." I met her gaze, gratitude welling up in my chest. "I couldn't ask for a better ally, Rose." "Deal." In that moment, as we sealed our pact, the echoes of betrayal faded into the background, overshadowed by the promise of a friendship strong enough to weather any storm. Chapter 8 unfolded as a testament to the transformative power of connection, proving that even in the face of shattered trust, the bonds of genuine friendship could emerge as a guiding light. As the seasons changed and wounds began to heal, Chapter 9 unfolded, a chapter marked by resilience, newfound strength, and the promise of a fresh start. The turning point came when I decided to attend a company event, a choice that symbolized my commitment to embracing life beyond the shadows of betrayal. Dressed in a gown that radiated both elegance and determination, I stepped into a room filled with colleagues and acquaintances. President Anderson approached me with a genuine smile. "Mrs. Johnson, it's a pleasure to see you here. I appreciate your dedication to moving forward." I returned the smile, acknowledging the support that had transcended professional boundaries. "Thank you, President Anderson. It's time for a new beginning." His gaze held a hint of approval. "Indeed, Mrs. Johnson, embrace it." As the night unfolded, Rose joined me, her presence a testament to the enduring bond we have forged through shared challenges. We navigated the sea of conversations and laughter, standing side by side against the backdrop of a company that had witnessed both the highs and lows of our respective journeys. Rose nudged me playfully. "You're radiant, Melaine. This is your night." I chuckled, grateful for her infectious positivity. It feels good to reclaim a sense of normalcy. Tonight is about embracing the present and looking forward. As the evening progressed, a colleague approached, offering a genuine compliment. "Melaine, I must say, your resilience is inspiring. It's not easy to rise above such challenges." I smiled, acknowledging the sentiment. "Thank you. Life has its twists and turns, but we have to keep moving forward." The company event became a symbol of the transformative power of time and resilience. The echoes of betrayal that once reverberated through my life had softened, replaced by a newfound sense of self and purpose. In the following weeks, Rose and I continued to navigate the complexities of life, leaning on each other for support and laughter. Over a cup of coffee, she looked at me with a twinkle in her eye. "Melaine, do you realize how far you've come? A few months ago, the idea of attending an event like that would have felt impossible." I nodded, reflecting on the journey. "It's a testament to the strength we find in unexpected places, isn't it?" Our laughter echoed through the cafe, a celebration of the resilience that had become the foundation of our friendship. "To new beginnings." Rose raised her coffee cup in a toast. "To new beginnings," I echoed, the words carrying a weight of significance and hope. Chapter 9 unfolded as a chapter of renewal and possibility. Life, once marred by unexpected betrayal, now offered the canvas for a new beginning, a chapter defined by resilience, friendship, and the promise of a brighter future.